Welcome to class online. Today we are going to be looking at another different book entirely, and it's a book written by Larry Peters. It's called The Panic of Growing Older. The Panic. Now, it's a very timely book. It is something that a very timely poem rather. It's something every one of us shares from. The Panic of Growing Older. Before we start, I want to let you know that this poet is from Senegal and he died at the age of 76. He actually got to a good old age before he died anyways. And he actually looked at a very critical issue. That is the issue of people being scared of growing older. The economic, social, emotional traumas that come with growing older. Most persons feel that when they are at a certain age, people do not care about them again. People do not feeling about their welfare and all that. So the poet was trying to look at the implications that comes with growing older. What happens if somebody has grown old, and how can we cope with all those implications? So first of all, I want to read out the lines from the poem, and then we will now discuss the thematic structures on the poem. It said, the panic of growing older spreads fluttering wings from year to year. At 20, stilled by hope of gigantic success, time and exploration. At 30, a sudden trove of pain, laboratory texts, having nothing to show, legs crippled, in domesticity, allow no sudden leaps at the moon now. With red ink and failures, nothing to show the world. 3 children, the world perhaps the world expects of you. No specialist effort there, but science give hope of twice 10. Hope is not a grain of sand. Inner satisfaction dwindles sharp, blades of expectation. From now on, the world has you. Now, from the first lines and stanzas of the poem, the poet tried to divide our years into 2 sections. He said at 20, one still has the hope of growing, becoming successful, having so much to do with. But then, at 30, the person begins to be introduced to laboratory tests in the hospitals, pain from all kinds of illness, not strong, and less of achievements in the world. After that, the next thing is the grave, and nothing to show the world, since the world now has you. Talking about going down. Now, the poet describes the concept of life into these 2 areas, telling us that at 21 is still full of life. You are still bursting with the hustle of life. You are still living life. You still have plenty of dreams for yourself. But then, at another second phase of life, which is said begins at 30, according to the poet, one begins to be faced with the harsh realities of life. Life begins to hit you. Things begins to go down the drain for you, and before you know, you get to the final stage of life, which is death. And we all know that death is inevitable. Now, the poet is trying to make a conscious effort, telling people that one should make provisions for growing old. That is why we have the theme, the panic of growing older. Now, what he's trying to say that at that time when life is full of all the luxuries that it has to offer, when we have plenty dreams of becoming successful and all that, that somebody should put out some provisions of making life a little bit better for himself when he gets to that stage in life when everything is not going to be as rosy as it used to be, when one will be introduced to pains, laboratory tests in the hospital, going through different problems and all that, and then finally the person goes to the grave where you have nothing to show the world again because the world now has you. Now, 3 things were what the poet brought out from the poem. First of all, it looks about the inevitableness of old age. It is something one cannot skip. In fact, as advanced as science has gone, I don't think science have come up with a drug which one can swallow and the person will never grow older. No, it is very much inevitable. The poet is trying to make us understand that at whatever stage we are in life, we should have it in mind that a time will come where we will grow old. And why he brought out this particular issue that is because there are so many implications, like I mentioned earlier, social implications, economic implications, emotional health challenges that comes with growing older. That is what the poet is trying to make us understand. And then Secondly, it talks about the fear of aging. When one becomes old, so many things you can do in the past, you can't do them any longer because you are old. You don't have that your useful strength and vigor any longer. Then it talks about impacting on the world. In some lines in the poem, he said, someone has gigantic success to achieve, so many dreams he wants to achieve. It's only at that time that you can make those things work, because the time you will come when you think of less achievement, it will just be about you. You'll be suffering in your pains until death comes to take the person away. Now, the language of the poem is easy to understand and is quite appreciable. It's something that the issues raised in the poem is something that affects us as humans. It is something that we cannot run away from. So I can say very well that the language of the poet is something we can appreciate, something we can relate with. It's easily understandable. And then the poet used some figures of speech such as euphemism. Blades of expectation is a euphemism. It's a way of trying to say that we have so many things we are trying to expect, but at the end of the day it might not turn to be the way we want it. And then it used biblical allusion. 3 children, the word perhaps, the word expects. It also used some symbol. Moon, which represents time. Red, which represents danger. And then the last figure of speech that the poet uses, onomatopoeia, spreading flattering wings. And we know onomatopoeia is a figure of speech that the sound depicts the meaning of what the person is trying to say. So we have this as a thematic structure in the poem. We have thematic structure. 1, inevitable old age. 2, the fear of aging. The fear of aging. And then number 3, impacting the world. Impacting the world. So these are the 3 thematic structures that was considered in the panic of growing older. The poem is a very short poem, and these are all we need to know about the poem. And it's a very realistic poem. It's something that affects every one of us as individuals. So this is where we'll stop in our class in literature today. Thank you very much for viewing class online. Please don't fail to share these videos with others. Tell somebody, and the person will tell another person too. Thank you for watching.